What is the man waiting for you at the altar is not your soulmate, and saying yes is the one thing that gets you ended. The story begins with Rachel in a wedding dress, standing in a church, ready to marry Nicholas or Nicky, the man she loves. On the outside, it looks like a perfect wedding moment, but inside her head, something feels wrong. As Nicky reaches for her hand to put the ring on her finger, Rachel starts thinking about their whole journey together, the love, the fights, the passion, and all the emotional ups and downs that brought them here. But then her thoughts suddenly shift into something terrifying. She starts seeing horrible flashes of blood, screams, a hallway covered in red, and a dog walking through that nightmare as if it belongs there. Right away, the story makes it clear that this is not just a romance and something very bad really is coming. After that, we go back and see Rachel and Nicky on a road trip heading toward their family home before the wedding. Rachel is driving, tired and struggling to stay awake, and for a second, it looks like the car is about to crash into a truck. Nicky snaps her out of it just in time and they laugh it off. But the feeling stays strange. Their conversation turns casual at first, but then it lands on a very creepy topic. Nicky brings up Larry Poole, a serial criminal who ended girls and once attacked a heavily pregnant woman. He even plays a recording of that woman telling her story. She says Larry slit her throat, left her for dead, and she only survived because she refused to give up. That story matters more than it first seems because it plants this dark feeling that violence, pregnancy, marriage, and blood are all somehow connected. Meanwhile, Rachel keeps showing that she is the kind of person who notices everything and judges quickly. At a gas station, she overhears a couple talking about their missing dog and bluntly suggests that maybe the husband ended it. It is awkward, it is rude, and it tells you a lot about her state of mind. She is anxious, sharp, and always expecting the worst. Then, while they continue driving, they pass a dead dog on the side of the road. It is one of those little moments that should mean nothing, but in this story, it feels like a warning sign. The worst part is yet to come. As night falls and snow covers the road, Rachel and Nicky stop at a place where Rachel notices a car with a baby crying inside. She is horrified that someone would leave a baby alone in the freezing cold. She tells Nicky to stay with the baby while she looks for the parents. This is what happened then. Rachel searches nearby and ends up near the bathrooms, where she sees a tiny Barbie shoe on the ground. That detail instantly reminds her of the serial criminal story from earlier. And then things get worse because in one of the bathrooms, she finds a dog bleeding on the floor. She panics and runs back, convinced that something terrible is happening. After that, Rachel goes looking for help and finds what seems like a club or roadside building. Inside, the place feels wrong from the start. She meets a woman with a strange name tag that says Benjamin, and the woman coldly explains that Benjamin was a man who used to work there and ended himself. Even that tiny detail feels off in the creepiest way. Rachel wants the police called, but then she hears a noise, looks up, and sees a man staring at her from above. She freaks out, tries to defend herself with her keys, and even stabs his hand when he gets too close. But the weirdest part is how calm he stays. He gives the key back and asks her a strange question, asking if she really thinks it is him. That line hits hard because it sounds like he knows she is afraid of the wrong person. Rachel runs back to the car, sees another car with "just married" written on it, and drives away in panic. When she returns, Nicky and the baby are gone. For a second, it feels like her worst fear has come true. But then Nicky suddenly appears. He says the baby's family came back, thought he was trying to kidnap the child, and attacked him before realizing the mistake. He is bleeding, Rachel is shaken, and the whole thing feels too strange to be random. Still, they keep going. Eventually, they reach Nicky's family estate deep in the woods, and from here the story becomes even more unsettling. The front gate needs a code, and the code turns out to be Nicky's birthday. They enter the house, and Rachel immediately feels like an outsider. She sees family pictures, notices details that do not make sense, and begins to understand that Nicky's family is carrying a lot of baggage. His mother Victoria is sick, his father is emotionally cold, his brother Jules is troubled, Nell is tense, Portia is weirdly intense, and little Jude keeps acting like he knows dark secrets no one wants to say out loud. Meanwhile, Rachel gets hit with one strange thing after another. Portia tells her a scary story about a figure called the Sorry Man, some horrifying being linked to brides and pregnant women. She makes it sound like a ghost story, but she is crying while telling it, which makes it feel personal and real. Jude appears and hides like he is afraid of something watching them. Then, later that night, Rachel wakes with a nosebleed, hears odd sounds, and walks around the house only to have Victoria grab her and tell her that she is going to become a different Mrs. Cunningham. That line is terrifying because it sounds less like advice and more like a warning. Then Rachel finds her own wedding invitation with a message written on the back saying, "Do not marry him." At that point, the paranoia becomes impossible to ignore. The next morning, everyone acts like things are normal, but Rachel knows they are not. Victoria speaks about marriage in these intense spiritual words, saying it is pure and special, and the way she talks makes it sound like marriage in this family is not just a ceremony. It is something heavier, darker, and maybe even dangerous. After that, the house keeps feeding her fear. She finds strange objects, hears private conversations, sees people acting suspiciously, and even finds what looks like an injection hidden away. At one point, she discovers a room with disturbing items and a black magic book, and for a while, it really looks like the family might be part of some ritual or cult. That is one of the best things about the story, because it makes both Rachel and the audience believe one thing while hiding the truth underneath. Meanwhile, Nicky keeps trying to calm her down, but he is also absent at the wrong moments. He does not fully listen. He does not fully understand. Then we learn more about the family. Victoria has a brain tumor. Her husband wants her final days to be peaceful at home instead of in a hospital. Nicky is angry because he wants treatment for her. Jules is damaged by old issues. Nell is harsh but more aware than she seems. Portia wants the wedding to be perfect, almost obsessively. Jude is scared of the Sorry Man and believes Rachel is in danger. Slowly, Rachel starts to understand that this family is not evil in the way she first imagined. They are broken, emotional, secretive, and crushed by something they have been living with for years. This is what happened then. Rachel finally decides to stop the wedding plans and gather everyone together. She says Victoria's final days matter more than the wedding. It is one of the few moments where she takes control in a calm and thoughtful way. She encourages the family to speak honestly and prepare what they want to say to Victoria before she is gone forever. That leads to a very emotional scene where they gather with candles, face the wedding dress hanging on a tree, and begin saying what they truly feel. The dress is burned, and for a moment, it feels like everyone is releasing years of pain. It is one of the strongest emotional turns in the story because it shows that underneath all the fear, there is real grief here. But then the horror returns. Jude, while filming everything on his camera, discovers a hidden room filled with dead animals, and then he sees the Sorry Man. From that point, the story stops feeling like it might all be in Rachel's head. Something real is there. Later that night, Rachel gets taken. Jude checks his camera and there it is, captured on tape. The Sorry Man is real. After that, the story pulls back the curtain in a huge way. Rachel ends up watching an old video from the past, and this is where everything connects. The video shows her parents years earlier on a journey that mirrors her own. Her pregnant mother Alexander and her father Jay stop at the same strange places, meet Larry Poole, and end up at the same cabin. Alexander says she has seen the place in dreams and feels something terrible is coming. She also talks about their unborn daughter Rachel. Then they get married. And then the worst part finally arrives. On the night of their wedding, Alexander starts bleeding from her nose and eyes, just like Rachel's visions showed. Her dress turns red with blood. She passes away in front of Jay. Desperate and terrified, Jay cuts the baby out to save her. It is horrifying, tragic, and it completely changes everything we thought we knew. Rachel realizes that her mother did not pass away randomly. She was gone because of a curse linked to marriage and soulmates. Back in the present, Jay explains the truth. Rachel was always meant to learn this. He was the one who sent her the warning on the wedding invitation, telling her not to marry Nicky. He did it because if she marries the wrong person, she will be gone exactly like her mother. That is the core of the whole series. The curse ends brides who marry someone who is not truly their soulmate. Suddenly, all the family's strange behavior makes more sense. They were not planning to sacrifice Rachel. Meanwhile, Jules bursts in with a gun, convinced Jay is the real sorry man. We then learn that as a child, Jules had witnessed part of that traumatic night long ago, which shattered him and created this terrifying legend in his mind. So the sorry man is both real and symbolic. He is tied to memory, trauma, guilt, and the family's desperate attempt to make sense of what happened. From here, the ending becomes more tragic than shocking. Rachel now knows the truth and wants to stop the wedding. She understands that love is not enough if the bond is not real in the deepest way. But Nicky still cannot fully grasp what is happening, and that is what makes the ending hit. In the final wedding sequence, that truth breaks everything. The curse activates, blood begins to come, death moves through the family. Victoria is gone, showing that even her own marriage was built on the wrong choice because she had once loved someone else. Portia is gone too because her own marriage was not real either. But then comes the final twist. Rachel survives. Why? Because Nicky pulled away and the marriage did not truly happen in the way the curse required. That changes the path of the curse and leaves Rachel in a strange position, almost like a survivor chosen to carry the warning forward. In that sense, her survival is not really a happy ending. It is more like a burden. She now knows the truth and she has to live with it. So in simple words, this series is about a bride who thinks her future in-laws are hiding something evil, only to discover that the real danger is much bigger and much older than any of them. It is about a curse that ends brides who marry the wrong person, a family shattered by grief, and a woman trying to save herself before history repeats itself. And by the time everything is revealed, you realize the title was telling the truth from the very beginning. Something very bad was always going to happen. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon for more amazing videos.